Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new Let's Play on EU4 for Anbennar. But we, as you can see right here, we're going to be playing as Birsartanšes, as that was my test game as I was getting a little bit salty. And by little bit, I mean a whole heck ton. So, last time I played this was quite a while ago, and I played as Birsartanšes. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I just say Birsar. But I played as Birsar, and it was pretty much my first ever look at the mod, you know, not having a clue what's going on, just not knowing the lore, and just generally being interested in, you know, playing an elven nation because Sun Elves. I know I did play these guys first, as that's why I knew these guys were Sun Elves, but to cut a long story short, it went really well. I formed the Phoenix Empire, I invaded Anbennar, I owned pretty much all of this over here, I owned all of down here, I had like loads of fun, started fighting the hobgobbos, and it was just generally a good family fun. And then I stopped playing for a few updates after I had played a dwarven nation as the Blackbeard cartel, and you know, just pretty much conquered all the fucking mountains. Now, so I then played, haven't played it since, and I came back and I noticed that they released a new Sun cult religion had been changed, and there's a few other things that have been changed as well that I've noticed, but I decided I wanted to play, but I didn't want to play as Birsartanšes, because so basically I recorded 3 different parts. All of them I scrapped because I did not. The first one, I just was being too Anbennaring, and it was essentially a part that was me being like, oh, do I play these, do I play that? Pointless. You guys don't need to see that. Second part, I played as Ilzana, and I didn't find it that interesting. Now, it could be that the playstyle just wasn't for me. It seemed to focus a lot more on the navy. But that was my most successful, as I then declared war on Tulukt, and even though I had checked, didn't say they had a war mage, they had a war mage, and I got royally bent over and was shown where my prostate is. It was quite not that fun. No, not fun at all. I then played as Irulan. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't like hiding. I don't like the idea of players being like, this is the first time I loaded this game up. Ah, yeah, definitely didn't like have 20 different attempts where I got salty and stopped playing. But no, I played as Irulan, and I was introduced to the religious issues. Apparently, as Ilzana, I didn't have it. So I was very shocked when I had this, and essentially, I was unprepared. To such a degree that I literally was crippled, and I would not have lasted the first couple of months in game. My army got absolutely bitch slapped. I forgot to get a general. That is my fault. But all my vassals had rose against me, and it was essentially unwinnable from my perspective. And I decided that a hard campaign is fun. Like, I know Birsar is not easy because I have done a test game of them where I've got them stable, but it's not great. Like, we still have the Marblehead who are absolute pricks, and we've got Harpilen and the Grey Sheep, all of which are absolutely painful. But I'd got us to a position where I would say it was still hard, but fun. And I hadn't been able to do that with anyone else. So we're going to be playing as Birsar. I do apologize about the long intro. Last thing I'm going to say is, if you do enjoy this, please do give a like and a comment. It really helps out. I don't know if this is going to be pre-recorded to such degree as the Nizari campaign is, because that one I pretty much pre-recorded to ensure that I've got daily content that, because I know that my track record with EU4 can be pretty spotty. I'm recording this because I know that I do enjoy Anbennar. I must enjoy it enough because I've played over an hour of content that I ditched, and I'm still willing to come back and play again. So please do support the mod as well, and support myself. But the links down below will be the access to the mod. I'll also try, and if I remember correctly, throw in the Discord. If I don't, just comment down below. You know, Joe, where's the Anbennar Discord? I'll throw that in there as well, because they're a bunch of great guys. They've got so much good lore, and it's just a very interesting game to begin with. But we've got a lot of reading to get through in this first part, so let's get through as Birsar. Now, I could Iron Man, but I don't hate myself, so if I'm going to do Iron Man, oh well. Anyway, Birsar, the Pink Phoenix. Primer. Rumored to be the cradle of civilization, and this is also the third time I've read this, so just, you know, bear with me if I seem to read it quickly. Bulwar is a land of fallen empires and a constant struggle. From the ancient age of the god kings, during which the humans overthrew the genies thanks to the magic taught by Brassen, and installed themselves as the king in their place, to the Kakusi Empire of the Horse Riders of the Forbidden Plains and the monstrous kingdoms of the Gnolls and the Harpies during the Age of Monsters. Bulwar has been, for the majority of its history, dominated by foreign invaders. In its later period, it was controlled by the likes of Casanor, Demiria, and Heteria. Jahar's landing in 1001 AA saw the humans freed from Gnollish tyranny and unified. Jahar is labelled as Surakel, or I think that's meant to be Suriel, reborn and by the new sun cult. He would go to conquer Dostanor and Buznor, and then the lands to the east all the way to the Ringless Sea, forming the first Phoenix Empire. Upon his assassination in 1127 AA, the Sunset Wars began, in which the inhabitants of Yashen and Rahen regions rebel and to break away from the Empire. Jahar's daughter, Jexis, would grow up to reconquer the Empire's western holdings and push all the way up to Damshed, forming the Second Phoenix Empire. She was assassinated in 1162 AA, and the Empire collapsed again. The remaining Phoenix legions returned from the west to find a fractured Bulwar, and then decided to head east into the desert. Recent history. Birsar is one of the Sun Elven kingdoms which remains in the wake of the Jexian Civil War, situated on the coast of the Divenhal Sea, spanning the coastal portion of the Harpy Hills. In recent history, they have warred with goblins and other Sun Elves and human rebellions and have been greatly weakened because of this. The other Sun Elf states vie for power over the various human cities and republics, and claiming to be the true successor of Jexis and Jahar. King Artani I of Birsar has recently been deposed by his daughter, Celadora, who was believed to be more competent as the ruler than her weak father was. She'll have her work cut out for her to reign in the Dark Taxis rebellion and push back the goblins and harpies, and restore the rule of Sariel's chosen over Bahar. Okay. We don't want the Great Conquerors. It's not fun. It just doesn't do us any good. Okay, so I'm just going to immediately form up my military to 14k because I know we're going to need it. So, we're also going to go on 4 speed because this first part is going to be a lot of tech and a lot of time passing very quickly. Because we're about to get an instant issue. Which is a shame because the issue strikes no matter what, which I think it's a little bit unfair to have a mission straight away, but at the same time, it is interesting. Now, it's going to... Oh, so I can't placate you because I start with negative goddamn prestige. That's a little bit annoying, actually. Okay. Let us... Some of the estate, some of the diet. Anything that gives me prestige. No. Fuck you. None of you give me goddamn prestige, you pricks. I will do that one. I'll upgrade that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to be getting straight into it. Let's get our rivals. You suck. You suck. And you suck. And you should be my best friend. Now, I know that they're going to end. These guys are going to end up in a big war, but they typically do end up winning it. So let's just see what's going on. Here we go. The Decades of Devastation. A religious incident. Whoop, whoop. The past few decades have been taking a heavy toll on the Sun Elf states in Bahar. We've been plagued with famine and infighting, and goblins from the mountains, heresy and rebellion. It is not only destroying the land, it is destroying the humans' trust in us. How could Sariel's chosen not have stopped this? Voices cry, if far and few between. They've been far too busy fighting each other for claims and wealth, they ignore our suffering. We realize now that our infighting was foolish in the face of disasters happening around us. Our brash confidence was nearly proven our undoing. This cannot continue. The people must have absolute faith in us again, so that we might lead them to Sariel's light. We'll have to find ways to counteract the atrocities of these past decades of war and hunger, such that the light shines of Bahar's bright future ahead and is not in its gloomy past. We now have a vassal who just does not like us. We're going to immediately start improving relations. Unfortunately, due to the lack of prestige, we cannot actually make them happy. And I'm not able to do strong duchies, which is a big sham. Now, where is the one that allows me to do... I can't do battle mages. Bollocks. Okay, so we can't do battle mages. I don't know. So the rest of this I haven't really looked into too much. Yeah, the only one that I want I can't get. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to try and end this rebellion. That's going to be our first goal. So, let's get our army sorted. Now, we'll hide these. So there's going to be some more events pop up that is going to basically allow us to fix the issue we're currently going to face, which is going to be something obviously we want to fix. Here it is, the Queen's speech. The plan is clear. Our Queen has made a speech to the people, with couriers to send the message to all corners of our nation. She will promise to improve the lives of the people and ensure their safety, as is her duty of one of Sariel's chosen. The people gaze up in wonder, but also in agitation. Things are getting very bad in Bulwar, and they need something to grasp onto in hope. Dartaxis' unquelled rebellion has caused many with little reason to question their faith in us, to stir up and rise with thoughts of the old ways, and the human-run kingdoms that saw the age of monsters come. We have heard whispers of vile heresy, that we are usurpers and must be removed by any means necessary. Our administration is woefully unequipped to handle this descent, and the more the people are mishandled by crude actions, the more of them join these causes. Beyond our borders, the monsters press ever closer, and raids striking even ever further. Our military has suffered loss after loss, and people fear that soon it will not be reasonable Sun Elves that they rebel against, but the demon-worshipping gnolls, or the man-stealing harpies, or the savage goblins from the mountains. The Queen will make a pledge to the people to end this instability and push back the invaders. All we need now is to figure out where to start and how to go about this. Pledge to restore the Order of the Realm before 10 years has passed. I don't know who your ally is, but I'm pretty sure it's these guys, which is honestly perfect. But first things first, we need to reform the army. Army reforms. If we are to uphold our promise and drive back the monsters, then we are going to need to reform our armies. They have not been nearly effective enough against the Gnollish incursions and harpy raids. Our tactics have stagnated and become predictable over the past several centuries. Our numbers are beginning to dwindle, and more elves die in battle with a few to replace them, and our training standards are lax. If we are to make do with what we have, then let us make certain we have what will always be enough. So we're going to begin the reforms quickly, because I do not mind spending that to get it done. Let us dedicate all our resources to these reforms. And the first thing we need to do is immediately reconquer this. But first things first, we need our men. So we need to hope that these guys don't get an alliance that is going to cause me issues. Also, we will try to appease our vassals. So our human vassals must be appeased if we had to count on their support stabilizing the nation. At the moment, we demand levies and tax from them in exchange for our direct protection. Perhaps we should ease one of these burdens, or perhaps it would be better to simply remind them that we are Cyril's chosen and hope they understand we can direct the resources better than they can. I don't mind now, so I've already decided that I'm happy to lower this down to the very lowest, Cyril's light, as with the wisdom is the one I want. In between there, I'm not too fussed. Like, it's great that we get extra discipline, but the one below us is definitely good as well. So we're going to lower the tax. They need the money more than we do. It's not going to make them happy enough, but it's going to help. Now, let's get our army built. Reforming our tactics. Our tactics have been passed down for several centuries now, ever since the days of Jihad's Phoenix legions. However, our army is not identical to those legions, and the technologies of war have changed in the past 300 years. New tactics will mean fresh perspective on battles, and hopefully an effective one that will surprise our enemies. We have been three promising options. The old guard in our military said the defensive tactics would suit the terrain of our lands best. Let the monsters shatter against our walls and shields. The vanguard believes that to beat the monsters you must be faster than them. They purpose ordering and then training our army to be deployable anywhere at a moment's notice in smaller, better trained groups. The last option is to rely on sheer volume of bodies in the field, with the humans rushing in mass assault on the enemy. They will be too busy defending against those numbers to react to our more skilled elven troops coming in from the flanks. Now, this is pretty cool, but not what I like. It does increase the chosen's level, but I have no interest. And that will decrease. Don't like that either. What I like is movement speed. Follow the Vanguard's advice and focus on mobile warfare. Because if anyone plays EU4 enough, you know that mobile warfare is extremely important. Okay. Cool. Hello. Just gonna say bye-bye to you. Should be an instant defeat. Yep, there we go. Okay. Right, I can't actually get there. That's a problem. Okay. Well, we'll get the... actually, we'll get you done. You're the biggest four. Oh my god, you're loyal. And we can placate you. Oh, that's perfect. So you'll notice that the reason I'm doing this is I very specifically just skipped a bunch of phases. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I do find this a little bit tricky. And I'll be honest, I'm not the best for this, but we're trying to fulfill this. So we need stability at least 1, which we'll do. We need to lower our war exhaustion, which we will do. And essentially, once we get over 66 points, which we need to do invasion from, which is good, we'll have enough points to essentially stop this issue. And I want to make sure we do stop it before the 10 years because, you know, it's called the 10-year fucking pledge. I would very much like to, you know, be a person of our word. Those assholes there are really bothering me, the fact that they exist. Now, with this war, we will... Oh, you son of a bitch, Harpylin. So we're not going to be able to get everything I want. The good thing is we're going to be able to get our cores. That's what matters because they're the most valuable to us. But reforming our troop composition. The composition of our armies has, like our tactics, been a sure and unchanging thing for centuries, but it is time we give it a second look. Our old guard believes that cavalry is still the way to go. A bright and shining Sun Elven cavalry charge can turn the tide of even the gloomiest battles. Our vanguard believes that their format of smaller, specialized, and highly mobile squadrons could serve in all parts of the army, potentially giving us some very effective infantry. Then again, we could also just rely on stacking more and more humans into the front lines. So again, cavalry, manpower, infantry. It does make our ability to have lower armies, or smaller armies, but honestly, I've never had an issue with this so far, so... I wouldn't like to pretend, you know, it's going to be a problem. Now, the good thing is we should be able to get peace quicker because of Harpylin. The only problem is Harpies will get an extra province, and they have a... If I remember correctly, they do have a powerful mage to begin with. Oh, wait, that guy is a powerful mage? Whenever I checked that, he wasn't. Okay, now I feel dumb. Human highwayman. We'll punish them for harboring criminals. I'm not going to read all events just yet because I'm trying and focus. Once we're out of the sun issue, I will start talking about events more. I'm also very surprised you haven't been massively war decked yet with all of your vassal issues. Reforming our training. Our training regimens were designed long ago with the intent that the elves were going through them would have years to perfect drills and exercise and rely on them for centuries. This is simply not the case anymore and results in very poor standard of quality amongst our human contingents. We must change these training methods and we already have a few options from our advisors. We could rely on quicker training programs to get the troops to the field while letting our officers train much longer to ensure their skill. We could follow the vanguard's method and train officers and soldiers together in small groups so they act in harmony. Or we could just reform the methods by which we train our human regiments and ensure that when they're in the field they won't die as quickly. So essentially, more shock, less discipline. Discipline, leader shock up, but regiment cost up. And again, discipline down, but regiment cost. We're going to be going for follow vanguard's advice. It's only for 10 years though, so it's a bit shit, but... Okay, so we could... so we're now 32.5 points towards the 66 points we need. Now, I don't know how perfect it's going to go, because I did have this province last time. I also did actually declare this war a lot later. Because Harpylin were at war with Grey Sheep, which I was kind of hoping they'd destroy, because it's easier to destroy Harpies than it is to destroy them. In a very funny turn of about. The Harpies have a powerful mage. Those assholes don't. Cool. Just gonna... There we go. No. That actually... There we go. We can now pledge. We've got just exactly enough points to pledge. I would like to get my stability up, though. I would like to... Oh, fuck you. Okay, we'll lose 25 crowns. That's fine. So yeah, my goal is to fulfill this pledge with as much points as possible, because that is actually good. Now, we could employ cheap advisors quickly. What I intend to do is I intend to get my stability up, and then essentially I intend to get everything up, then do it. So that way, when we pledge, we get an extra 10 points, an extra 17.5 points to get us pretty much as close as possible to the 100. because I'd love to be at 100 points. But we're not going to get there. We're going to get as close as we can. Army reforms complete. We've completed all the reforms we can think of, and hopefully our armies will perform better than ever. Queen Celadora I is reviewing the troops with her court in the celebratory military parade, and they are inspiring strength in all who need to see them in their shining armor. Beautiful. Right, we can now enact the grievance system, or reform the administration. So I am definitely going to reform the administration before we finish off the reforms, because I'm pretty sure... Does that not help at all? No? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get in this part here. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part. Like I said, it is very important if you guys comment and like. It really does help, bring the part and set, the channel to more places. But I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, well, follow me on all my social medias and stuff like that. Everything is down below. But let me know what you guys think. I'll probably record the first 4 to 6 parts, and then we'll go from there. I can't promise that, but I will listen to all of your insight and wisdom, as I'll try not to record ahead for this one. I'll probably try and record maybe a week ahead at a time. I'll try to keep it a little less, but I am pretty busy, so I'm trying not to record too much. That's why I tried to record ahead, sorry. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys then.